Hey everyone, Brandon from the A-Team. Here's an overview of what to expect from the Aputure Spotlight Mini Zoom, an innovative projection modifier designed specifically for the Lightstorm 60D and 60X. The Spotlight Mini Zoom is the second projection attachment to come from Aputure, with the first being the Spotlight mount, the first professional level projection modifier for Bowen's mount. The Spotlight mount released with 3 lenses, the 19 degree, 26 degree, and 36 degree. The Spotlight Mini Zoom, like the name implies, combines multiple beam angles into one, with a 15 to 30 degree beam angle resulting in a 2x zoom ratio. The mounting ring on the Spotlight Mini Zoom is designed to fit snugly into the accessory slot of the LS60D or 60X. It takes the focusable light from the aspherical lens of the 60D and 60X and converts it into a projection mount, making the output shapeable with the built-in shutters for clean lines or the included iris, and allowing the resulting light to output sharp or defocus shapes using M-Size Gobos. Starting out with what is included with the Spotlight Mini Zoom kit, inside the included carrying case, you'll find the Spotlight Mini Zoom itself, an M-Size iris that pairs nicely with the built-in iris slot, and an M-Size Gobo holder, and even 15 different M-Size Gobos, including an Aputure logo. To mount the LS60D onto the Spotlight Mini Zoom, unlock the top latch by making sure the release lock is in the forward position, lift up and turn to the side. Afterwards, you can match the mounting ring of the Spotlight Mini Zoom and the accessory slot of the 60D or 60X. Then close up the top latch and make sure to lock it by pushing in the release tab. This will prevent the 60D or 60X from falling off the back of the Spotlight mount. For the best center of gravity, the Spotlight Mini Zoom should be mounted to the stand instead of the 60D or 60X. Supporting the Spotlight Mini Zoom is a very similar yoke to the LS60D or 60X, utilizing a rosette-style tilting mechanism that will provide a firm grip. On the rear side of the Spotlight mount, next to the mounting ring, is a tightly packed area with the majority of the non-lens components of the Spotlight Mini Zoom. Here you'll find the 4 shutters that allow you to shape the light output of the 60D or 60X. In front of the shutters, you'll find the slots for the M-Size Gobos and iris respectively. Gobos are patterns that fixtures can project light through that will cause a resulting shape in the output. For example, this Gobo is a cutout of the Aputure logo, but the 15 Gobos that are included with the Spotlight Mini Zoom have a variety of different shapes that are useful for many types of scenes, whether you need to create a backsplash with dots and lines, or you want to mimic the effect of a shadow from a tree. The iris is an accessory that allows you to further close down the beam of the Spotlight mount to fine-tune its exact diameter. Unlike zooming in the spotlight, this will not result in any extra light and will actually reduce the output of the fixture, but it allows for very precise framing of the open spotlight, shutters, or gobos. Next up is the locking focusing knob. By loosening this knob, users can adjust the spotlight lenses forward or backward to manipulate the focus of the projected images, allowing you to sharpen or soften the output. You can bring the gobo into sharp focus or defocus it for a natural fall-off effect. Once you've achieved your desired focus, retighten the knob and you're all set. The next part is where all the magic happens. Designed to operate very similarly to a camera lens, the zoom ring on the Spotlight Mini Zoom allows you to adjust the beam angle or beam spread of the light between 15 degrees to 30 degrees. This means you have 2 times optical zoom and 2 times control over the diameter of your illumination circle. And then lastly, at the front of the lens, you'll find a gel slot with a top latch that behaves the same as the top latch on the Lightstorm 60D and 60X. The output of the Spotlight Mini Zoom is best when the 60D and 60X is in 15 degree spot, or when the LED is furthest from the spotlight. To use one of the included Gobos or any other metal M-Size Gobo, simply insert it upside down into the Gobo holder and insert the Gobo holder into the Gobo slot in front of the shutters. You can then use the zoom and focus adjustments to perfect your image. Just like with any camera lens, there are different hyperfocal distances and close focus points for different beam angles, so keep that in mind when lighting. If you find that you can't focus your Gobo properly, you may be too close for that beam angle. Using the 18-leaf iris is very simple. The handle at the top of the iris allows you to open and close it by moving it side to side and can be used to lift in and out of the iris slot. These shutters can be used to achieve precise cuts that would otherwise be unachievable with just barn doors, and are perfect for shaping light to hit only reflectors and bounce cards, such as CRLS reflectors. The shutters, gobos, and iris are all at different positions in the lens, so you will not be able to achieve sharp focus on all of them at the same time. A few other things to note. The light distribution of the Spotlight Mini Zoom is fairly even, with only a 20% loss of light moving toward the edges of the illumination circle. The illuminance of the 60D and 60X with this Spotlight Mini Zoom, in addition to its distance to the subject, is also dependent on the beam angle, which also changes the diameter of the illumination circle. As a reference, at 3 meters with the Lightstorm 60D, the Spotlight Mini Zoom can output a 170 centimeter illumination circle with an illuminance of 430 lux at 30 degrees, and at 15 degrees, zoomed all the way in, the circle has a diameter of 85 centimeters and a brightness value of 1660 lux. With the Lightstorm 60X at 3 meters, the brightest output, which is at 5600 degrees Kelvin, is 330 lux at 30 degrees and 1240 lux at 15 degrees, with the same illumination circles respectively. The yoke of the Spotlight Mini Zoom will support a decent amount of weight on the rear end of it, so there's no worries about placing a larger battery on the yoke of the LS60D or 60X. However, if there are any power solutions attached to the V-mount on the yoke of the 60D or 60X, the light will tilt to the side. This is not a problem as the output of the light fixture is uniformly circular and should be no cause for concern. And in scenarios in which you would want to undersling the light or place the yoke above the spotlight, simply unscrew the focusing screw completely to separate the rear chassis from the front portion of the Spotlight Mini Zoom. This will allow you to rotate the yoke to the underslung position, as the shutters behind the yoke prevent it from moving in that direction. Once the yoke has been repositioned, reassemble the Spotlight Mini Zoom by reattaching the two parts and tightening the focusing screw. And with that, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Spotlight Mini Zoom, the projection attachment designed for the Lightstorm 60D and 60X.